For beginners, start with the basics of the wise fool concept in India. This term usually refers to two famous people, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, a real sultan from the 14th century, or Birbal, a clever minister from folklore who served Emperor Akbar. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the ruler of the Delhi Sultanate from around 1325 to 1351. He was very smart, educated, but many of his big plans ended in disaster. Because of this, he is often called the wisest fool. His decisions were meant to be helpful, but they caused many problems for his people. One of his most famous foolishly wise decisions was moving his capital city. To better control his large empire, he ordered everyone living in Delhi to move to a new city called Daulatabad, located in the center of India. The journey was extremely long and difficult. Many people suffered and died along the way. After a few years, he realized his mistake and was forced to move the capital back to Delhi, causing even more hardship for the people who had to make the long trip again. Another major policy was his introduction of a new kind of money. There was a shortage of silver in his kingdom, so he tried to increase the money supply by creating copper coins. He declared that these copper coins had the same value as the more precious silver coins. However, this plan failed badly. It was very easy for people to make fake copper coins, and soon counterfeit money was everywhere. This created economic chaos and made the real currency almost worthless, hurting trade and the economy. He also tried to raise money for his army by increasing taxes. He heavily taxed the farmers in the Doab region, which was a very fertile area between two rivers. He hoped this would bring in a lot of money to support his soldiers. Unfortunately, at the same time he raised the taxes, a terrible drought hit the region. The farmers could not grow enough food to feed themselves, let alone pay the high taxes. This led to widespread famine, and many people starved. The farmers became desperate and started to rebel against his rule. The other famous wise fool is Birbal, who lived from about 1528 to 1586. He was a minister in the court of the great Mughal emperor, Akbar. Birbal was not a ruler, but was known for his incredible wit and intelligence. There are many popular folktales about how Birbal used his cleverness to outsmart his rivals and give wise, often humorous advice to the emperor. In these stories, Birbal often acts like a wise fool, where his actions seem silly or strange at first, but lead to a smart and fair solution. One well-known story shows Birbal's cleverness. A rich merchant came to Emperor Akbar with a problem. He asked the emperor to make Birbal solve a dispute he was having with his neighbor, a poor carpenter, over a well. The merchant explained his problem. He had recently bought the well from the carpenter, but now the carpenter was still coming every day to take water from it. The carpenter argued that he had only sold the well itself, not the water inside it. Birbal listened carefully to both the merchant and the carpenter. After thinking for a moment, he came up with a very clever solution. He turned to the carpenter and said that his logic was interesting. Birbal told the carpenter that if he had sold the well but kept the water, then he was now storing his water in the merchant's well. Therefore, the carpenter must pay the merchant a daily rent for using the well to store his water. When the carpenter heard this, he was shocked. He realized that his own greedy trick was going to cost him money. He immediately understood his mistake and apologized to the merchant. He promised not to take any more water from the well, and the dispute was resolved peacefully. This story shows how Birbal's seemingly strange logic led to a just and fair outcome. The idea of a wise fool character is not unique to these two figures. This concept also appears in the folklore of other cultures in and around India. For example, Mullah Nasruddin is a legendary character in Islamic folklore who is famous for his funny stories. Like Birbal, Nasruddin is known for his eccentric behavior and profound wisdom, often teaching lessons through humor and seemingly foolish actions. To give you the story you're most interested in, would you like a full summary of Muhammad bin Tughlaq's reign or a detailed story of Birbal's witty exploits?